Okay, we're gonna go. Why don't we first of all introduce yourself again?
Okay. You ready?
Yeah, it's running.
Hi, I'm Don Kehr, and I live at 16833 Deer Island Road. I'm here with one of my neighbors in that area, Jack Magri, and we're talking about the two ordinance proposals that are in front of the City Council for the City of Tavares. One of the things we're trying to do is get factual information in people's hands so that they know what's really going on instead of a lot of the non-factual information that's kind of been floating around, and asking people to sign a very short petition to the City Council and the Mayor asking them to either deny this current request for signing two ordinances, 2017-10 and 2017-11, or to certainly table those so that the planning and zoning group can get a little bit more input from the neighbors and try hopefully to have some small effect on what the developers are actually trying to build.
Great.
So on our left up here is a copy of the actual zoning and layout for the proposed development that is part of the ordinance. It currently shows 100 lots on 228 acres.
Those are awfully narrow. It's like a bowling alley.
In some cases they are, in some cases they're not. But and they didn't put dimensions on this particular map. We've sort of scaled it, but they're roughly 100 feet wide, maybe a little bit more, and certainly wider in a couple of specific areas, but most of them are roughly 100 feet. They are fairly low density. It's 0.58 units per acre. We have some concerns because one of the ordinances cites this drawing, which supposedly is the control drawing. The other ordinance cites 3 units per acre. Since there's 222 acres, that would be, you know, by the time you take wetlands out, it might be 500 homes, which we certainly would think is inappropriate. We're asking the town council to delay or cancel this particular request because we don't think that the neighbors have had enough input. We don't totally agree that it's in the best interest of the neighborhood. We're not anti-development. We're not anti-city. We just want things done in a pretty, in a little bit more thoughtful manner.
Okay.
Well said.
Jack?
Well said. I'm new to this whole thing. So,
Okay, and Jack is famous in the antique boat world, so...
I am I?
And it just happened to be on water down here.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
I do, and I love it here, and I like my rural location here.
What do you think about the traffic this will cause, Jack?
Well, we've been concerned for years with the traffic going in and out building homes on Deer Island. And so this will make a significant impact on the traffic here and the safety of the area.
There was an accident this Wednesday morning at 10 after 6 at the intersection of Shirley Shores and 448 just down the street. We believe it was a fatality. I've had a little trouble getting that absolutely confirmed. Nobody wants to tell me for sure, but it was it happened at 6:10 in the morning. You still couldn't go through the intersection at 8:30. Someone was airlifted, and someone told me off the record that there was a fatality. There was another very serious accident at the same intersection less than a month ago. 100 feet from where you're standing, we had a bicycle hit and run about a month ago, and we tried to get some investigation on that, and just oddly enough, the vehicle involved in that hit and run was a black pickup truck, and that happened at about 6:10 in the morning during the week, and this accident that was a recent fatality was a black pickup truck, and it was also at 6:10 in the morning, so we don't know if that's connected or not.
How about that?
One of the issues in this development is adding 44 new driveways onto an already pretty choked street. We think there's ways that the developer could address that a little more thoughtfully by doing a different route on some of their interior roads in order to alleviate, or not alleviate, you're going to add these numbers of homes, but to concentrate to 1 or 2 spots where all of those homes dump onto our major street. We're also concerned about the city of Tavares' plan to annex not only this property in question, but Deer Island, certainly my home, Jack's home, Squirrel Point, all these areas here. And that's a big, long, involved story, but in essence, I checked yesterday with the county taxing authority, who used the city's current mill rate. My home is valued at $235,000, and my taxes will go up $1,564, I think, so $1,600. I will have to continue to pay all of my county taxes. I'll have a new set of city taxes. No one's been able to explain to me yet what the benefits are to this, other than I think I get to stop paying $300 a year for my trash pickup to the county. It'll now be part of the city's responsibility. I think I'm accurate in saying that the roads would continue to be county maintained. I think it may make a change in fire and police, but I don't have good answers on that at this time. So I don't know what time it is. We started at 9:30. We have about 100 signatures on our petition now, and what our plan is to approach town council with a lot of signatures and have people show up for these remaining meetings and ask them to, at a minimum, delay this action for more review, at a maximum to vote against both of these ordinances.
Okay.
What am I missing?
You're missing. I've got no information from the city or the county.
Well, I know that
There's that little sign over there. I noticed that little
orange
tiny
sign.
orange sign. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
I believe the city has complied with their mandatory obligations for informing citizens. Unfortunately, sometimes I didn't get any notice at all, so all I did was drove by. I happened to be out of the country when those got posted. So we've developed several sheets. The first one we just call an info sheet, and we try to be as factual as we can on what we believe are the facts and the process that's taking place. The second one is what you can do to help, so it lists the addresses, email addresses, phone number for the council members and the mayor so people can contact them, and it also gives you a list of the two remaining meeting dates. The first one is 4 o'clock on Wednesday the 6th in the town council meeting. At that meeting they will only read the petition. There will be no input from the public, and I don't even think that the council will discuss it at that meeting. It's simply reading to get it in the books. But we encourage people to show up for that just to show support.
That's September 6th, 2017.
September 6th, Wednesday, 4 o'clock, 201 East Main Street, Tavares. It's Town Hall.
Do you recommend that people mail or email something to the city council several days before the meetings?
Absolutely.
Because it'll be in the packet then.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll provide them with all of these signatures and some of our proposed recommendations. Then the final meeting for this is on September 20th. So 2 weeks after that, on a Wednesday night, also town council meeting room in Tavares. There's an interim meeting between those that is a neighborhood meeting that's scheduled for the 448 banquet or 448 Hall place out across from Mary's Diner on the 11th at 7 p.m. And we hope to let people speak their mind, but maybe narrow down and select only several people to actually present at the final meeting. Our concern is that many times the way these things work is the town council really has made up their mind by the time they get to that vote date. And so we want to have every opportunity to try to affect their thinking on this prior to that time. So here's what you can do to get involved, Jack. And here is a sheet that talks about things that we recommend might be looked at in a little bit different fashion. Safety, the compatibility, financial impacts, zoning, environmental, and development communications. We've been a little disappointed that the development group really has not contacted us or made presentations so that we can know what they're thinking. Because the truth is, we don't know exactly what they're building. We got a hunch, but we don't know.
We know who they are.
Yes and no. We know the official filing information, but it appears to us to be probably an out-of-state concern. We don't know. It's an out-of-state concern with some local representation. New Hampshire, gentleman over here. Jacksonville. So the answer is we don't know. It's not a DR Horton, etc. at this time. One of our concerns is once they get this approved and stamped, I don't believe there's anything that would affect their ability to just pick that package up and sell it to a DR Horton or someone else who might have a different take on what they do.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything last that you'd like to add, Jack?
No, I'm just learning here. I'm interested to know whether they can annex my property and his property. And
That's
I think we may have something in our bylaws and restrictions for our.
This is Sam.
Wouldn't they try and force that so that they can reach Deer Island
Yeah.
Island, I would think.
with the lines?
everything we've talked about to date is kind of the immediate short-term, this big a problem or this big an issue. Jack's right on the biggest issue. The biggest issue is the city of Tavares wants to annex all this property, and they're working aggressively to do so. Behind you is a agriculture zone. I think it's 1,000 acres or more, and it has already. My understanding is it's already been annexed into the city of Tavares. So, coming soon on that location will be a very, very major development.
This road's horrendous.
That property, when they annexed it, they said there would be a housing addition, a strip mall, and a factory to generate seaplanes out of California.
Yeah.
And all it was a void to get them to annex the damn thing in because they haven't done anything with it.
Right. So what's important here is that there is a law on the city of Tavares books, planning and zoning, that says that they can't annex properties into the city unless they are contiguous with city property. And so this property, when they added that, it got them all the way around the lake to this location. The reason this project is so important is because it continues that continuity of city property all the way down to where Jack and I live, about 10 homes between us and the rest of the Deer Island Country Club. And his question is, they can't take our land and make us be part of the city. One law says that they can't, it has to be contiguous. They have recently signed an agreement with the county that, I forget what it's called, an ISD something, I have it here. But it's a new agreement. I don't know how old it is, but I think less than a year. And it would allow them to jump a small series of homes in order to do an annexation.
Non-contiguous annexation.
So the city, in their defense, the city's made substantial investments in this area. They've run the water and sewer lines down this road in order to get to Deer Island. They've run them down here. This guy's going to contest that. Go ahead, sir.
No, sir.
Oh,
They did not pay to have the water or the sewer brought down here.
the city didn't?
No, sir.
Who did?
The developer.
Taking over our
One of the things that
I didn't know that.
his thing was, if you want to develop it, you have to bring sewers and water.
Okay.
He had a $10 million bond
Oh, my.
through an insurance company.
Okay.
I think it was Allstate or State Farm.
All right.
Back a few years ago, it's probably been 10 now.
Yeah.
Second bankruptcy through Deer Island.
Yeah.
The insurance company said, we ain't getting our money with the interest payments. It's up to $13 million. They brought somebody in. They put him on the 11th tee in a 2-story home and said, sell everything that's not sold. We'll give you 8% and the rest goes to us. And that's how the water and the sewer got here, not the city.
That's really
Okay.
interesting.
Well, thanks for the education. I didn't know that.
Right.
So the bottom line is, can we fight that? Is it reasonable for us to fight that? I personally am not too excited about being in the city of Tavares, although I've got great respect for Tavares. Jack and I both have antique wooden boats, and we work with them on a big boat show we do every year. They're great people. They're progressive-minded people. But when it starts coming down to my wallet of an additional $1,500–1,600 a year in taxes, plus I'll probably be forced to take my water well away and tie into their water system. There's a $3,300 and some odd impact fee. It probably cost me $10,000 to hook up my water to the city. So it's pointed out in these documents. It's a pretty good financial burden to be a part of the city, and so far, no one's managed to tell me why that's in my best interest. I'm sure it may be, but I haven't gotten that information.
Now, let me ask a question in that I look at the top-down satellite view of this whole area, and I wonder why Mount Dora isn't the one that's coming across even, under the channel there and going after Deer Park to annex it, as opposed to Tavares coming all the way around the lake.
Maybe it's a race.
I don't know. I think maybe Mount Dora is just kind of sitting on their tail and just isn't that aggressive about it.
I haven't.
Mount Dora did not want the sewer and water run under the lake. And because they wouldn't do it, and Tavares did, now Tavares has the right to annex it. It's not Mount Dora.
This fellow's more knowledgeable than I am.
The other thing I'd like to know,
Yeah.
you look at the map,
Right.
they didn't take the whole piece of property. Why not?
What do you mean they didn't take the whole piece of property?
They took 222 acres. There's 262 acres.
Okay.
And the property goes all the way down here, down like this, all the way out to top of the Kehr Canal.
I don't know the answer to that question. I know that in
That's
what
all wetlands.
in what
They don't want it
well,
because
sure,
they can't do
it's
anything
just
with it.
cost them money. What they're buying, and my understanding is that the developer does not own this property. I hope this is factual, but I understand that they don't own it today. They have a contract to buy it. If this is successful, they'll proceed. So, we have talked to the realtor who's in charge of this, who's Rick Gonzalez. Rick is also, I think, the head of the Planning and Zoning Commission for the county of Lake County. So I don't know how that figures into all of this, but he did tell another realtor, and I was sitting in the car when this was discussed. He told that realtor that he could plan on getting 3 units an acre out of this property. So is the 0.58 units per acre what's really going to happen, or is there something going on behind the scenes? I know that the annexation document moves it from some agriculture and mixed use all the way up to basically high density planned development. And if you look up that code, it says 3 units per acre. So we don't know the answer.
Yeah, once they own it,
I would
they
think
can do
him
whatever they
being
want to.
the realtor for that piece of property and being on the county commission
C-130.
would be a conflict of interest.
Vietnam.
Oh,
It pays
okay.
him.
I was
sell it
running a
because he's
computer
gonna get a
in
commission.
Baghdad.
Yeah, but
Saigon.
in his defense, the county really isn't making this
Over
decision. It's
600
the city.
emissions.
They got to prove it.
Yeah, I went to the county. I met with the
Station
county
right now,
board,
and
and they didn't seem to really understand
No fights,
or
no nothing.
care too much that the city was taking over this property. But I was dealing with the head of planning. Got her name here. I was dealing with the lady in the planning department. Nice lady, but didn't seem very concerned about any of this, and thought it was fairly normal. And I think might have been a little surprised that people are having a tiff over this. Her name was Michelle Janisweski. She's a chief planner for Lake County. I've also met with Michael Fitzgerald, who's the director of community development at the town. Met with Antonio Fabri, the planning coordinator.
Director there with Tavares.
Yes,
City
the Tavares Planning and Zoning, but it's called Community Development for the City of Tavares. Antonio's also with the City of Tavares. We met with the Assessor's Office for the county. There's did I mention the meeting at the 448 building?
Yeah, you did earlier. Okay.
What am I forgetting?
Well, we can turn it back on. So we'll leave it at that for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.